All right, let's go to this now. Ontdekkers Road has been blockaded by angry Coronationville and Westbury residents. The community is calling for action after their taps ran dry for some days now. It's understood, in fact, that a nearby old age facility has also been affected. Let's bring you some live visuals from the scene and see what's currently taking place there. This is what it looks like right now. Our reporter Ofentse Setimo has been tracking the story for us. We'll keep these visuals a little bit longer on air and talk about what we are seeing. Ofentse, of course, you spent pretty much the day tracking water wolves from Hammanskraal now to this. Let's talk about these particular residents. What are they crying about? Because it does seem like water comes at certain times.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much, Bongiwe. Well, I can tell you that, the residents of Westbury and Coronationville, they say that for the past 4 years, they've had erratic water supply, whereby water would actually come back around 1 in the morning for like an hour, and then some would actually put in washing to sort of try and wash as quick as they possibly can.
In the early hours of the morning? In
the early hours of the morning. So the fact that they woke up so early this morning to be in the streets, braving the cold front, actually showed the sheer desperation that they actually have, because over those years they actually have not had water. They say they've appealed to council, they've spoken to Joburg Water, but for some reason, they are given promises, and those promises unfortunately do not come to fruition. As you rightfully mentioned, Ontdekkers is still blockaded. What had happened is that early in the morning they were there, and then they decided that because now the traffic has subsided, they're just going to go and rest and wait for peak hour traffic to come again, and so that their impact can be felt and maybe their grievances can also be addressed.
And as you say that they've been trying to engage the city for quite some time now, and really, if this is what they are resorting to, it does seem like it's something they're planning to do until their grievances are heard.
Yes, from what they mentioned, they said that this is what they will actually be doing each and every single day until someone from the council actually comes. They say that the local councillor, who's actually not actually residing there, is out of touch with some of the challenges that residents are actually facing. You know that Westbury also has a challenge of gangsterism as well, and they feel that they're on their own most of the time and barking up maybe a wrong tree, because most of the time when they voice their discontent, nothing is actually done. And in fact, it was a hunch for us to actually pick up this story, because we were driving to Pretoria and we picked up this traffic, and we thought, man, let's ask what's happening. And someone said that, no, it's actually Westbury residents. They are fed up with the fact that they haven't had water for such a long time. Then when we went there, that's when we actually picked up the fact that, there's this thing that's happening where for years, the water supply has actually been erratic. And this comes on the backdrop where Rand Water had actually announced that there's a day zero looming, because apparently they had engaged with municipalities here in Gauteng to sort of curb water usage, I believe, below 33%. But they're saying, unfortunately, that wasn't done, and unfortunately we find ourselves in a situation where water levels are actually critically low here in the province of Gauteng.
And even speaking to the Deputy Minister of Water and Sanitation, David Matlabo, he does confirm that in fact in Gauteng, while systems may be healthy, but there is of course a potential crisis that is looming there. And he was talking about the meeting with the Premier, and I mean, you can see these are rocks that are blockading these roads. Motorists are struggling, but at the same time, this is not the only community Ofentse that you've had to have a conversation with. There is the Hammanskraal community as well in Tshwane, that at some point, we remember over the years, they were complaining about contaminated water. Now it seems like they don't have water currently.
Yes, there's actually a complete shutdown of water, because apparently they say there was an incident that happened on the 2nd of October where electricity supply to Rooiwal was affected by a fire that happened at a power station. Then immediately after that, Rooiwal was not able to actually purify the water. So by the time the water reaches Leeuwkraal Dam, which is the last point before it is actually gone to the Temba water treatment plant before it can go to the taps, it actually had stools in it, it was basically contaminated, let me put it that way. Yeah.
And of course, this is a community that would be worried given what they would have seen with water situations in the past. What is the city doing about this?
Well, the city is saying that they're actually working around the clock to actually examine the water that's inside the Leeuwkraal Dam, because they're saying that, they've managed to fix the problem that was affecting Rooiwal. So now Rooiwal is able to purify the water, and once it reaches Leeuwkraal Dam, it's supposed to be in a condition where the Temba water treatment plant is able to make it viable for consumption. You know, so they're saying that by end of this week, they're actually going to get the test results, and that will inform their way forward.
All right. I was going to ask as to when do they believe that the situation can be resolved. And as you and I are chatting, I saw some videos, you know, some visuals through the corner of my eye. It seems like police are trying to engage with the community of Westbury there, as they're then trying to possibly get them to maybe move from the area, because as you say, it is peak hour traffic. It is going to be causing quite a bit of a nightmare. And I suppose the Joburg Council now will have some serious questions to answer, as well as even the mayor and the MMC tasked with this responsibility as to why a community will complain so much and still not be heard.
Absolutely. And what they also mentioned that I found a bit awkward, they're saying areas around Westbury and Coronation actually have water. They were mentioning Slovoville, which is an informal settlement, and they're saying that most of the time when they don't have water, the informal settlement would have water, and they feel hard done by, because they're saying that they're paying their rates, they're paying their taxes, but for some reason they are on the back foot when it comes to the provision of services.
All right. I know Herbert Memela is on his own there as he's bringing us these visuals. I wonder if we're able to listen in to hear what the police are saying at all.
Baba, still thathi nasikhuluma sa-address labahlaba siyasimitile.
We understand why it's water and this thing, guys. Definitely the rest is
so they lying to us though.
I know, that's why I come to address you guys. That's why I just came to address you. Good job,
The live visuals there of Westbury residents, as you hear myself and Ofentse having a conversation about this very protest by these residents who are saying that they do have intermittent water supply. I mean, you think about people who have to do their laundry at 1 o'clock in the morning when they do have a bit of a supply of water which lasts for about an hour, and police are now trying to get them to clear the roads. And I suppose Ofentse, it always raises questions when we see police then coming, of course it is their jobs to try and reopen the roads, but at the same time they shouldn't be the ones to quell this protest, because ultimately people are looking to the city to provide the answers.
Absolutely. And Bengi, where you can imagine, they didn't invite the media. There was no statement that wanted to gain media attention of their protest, and they just basically were there to get what they wanted. The protest itself was not protected, and the police were there, so they were willing to sort of compromise everything, even their freedom to be arrested for, you know, contravening the traffic and everything, just so that their voices can be heard and they can actually get water.
All right, Ofentse, thank you so much for that update. And in fact, we will be tracking the story and do ask the city of Joburg for their reaction to this particular story and the claims that are being made by this community, and the fact that right now the community is back again on the streets and they are still demanding water there. That's my colleague Ofentse Setimo, who's been tracking the story for us.